Hi everybody! Hi Rutger!
Hi man.
How are you doing?
Alright.
We are collaborating again on a Game of Thrones and science video. Ooh, we want to talk about some of the science behind these northern folks that are coming in down now in season 8. You are an evolutionary biologist.
Yes. At Naturalis Biodiversity Center in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, in Leiden, where we are now.
Yes.
How did I get here so quickly from shooting the videos back home during the season?
It's the magic of Tinseltown.
It's
incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to make scientific sense of what's going on in the north, and we're gonna use that for a bold prediction for the conclusion of the story. What kind of science could you apply to what's going on in the north?
In Scotland.
Yes. They're coming down.
Yeah. You can see that a lot of the things that are coming down from the north are kind of big, aren't they?
The giants.
There's the giants, there's mammoths.
Big bears also.
Big bears. The wolves are enormous.
Right. The spiders are bigger.
Yeah, so the spiders, that's a separate issue. We'll get to that.
Okay, so let's talk about the mammals first.
That actually, in building this world, that actually kind of fits with our own world in that animals, warm-blooded animals in cold climates are bigger.
In our world?
Yes. So,
for example, wolves, bears, like in the show?
Bears, for sure.
Giants?
Well, giants, I guess, don't exist.
Okay, but
they conform to a general rule. The problem that these species are trying to solve is, how do I not lose so much heat?
So it's not too
because it's cold and they're warm-blooded animals. It costs a lot of energy to maintain heat,
to find food.
Yeah, and so they want to be conservative with that.
Okay.
And the trick is as follows. So the heat, of course, disappears through the skin.
Okay.
So you want to have relatively little skin surface relative to your volume as an organism.
Okay, and you do that by magic?
Well, that's one way, but so the way in which, for example, polar bears do it compared to much smaller tropical bears, is to grow larger, because the surface area increases at a different rate than the volume. Like imagine a cube, like a dice, and it's like 1 by 1 by 1 centimeter. So the surface is 6 square centimeters.
Right.
And volume is 1 centimeter cubed. So the ratio is 1 to 6.
Because you multiply by 1.
Yes.
Still 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, exactly.
So 6 to 1.
Yeah, 6 to 1.
Okay.
Now imagine if it becomes 2 by 2 by 2 centimeters.
Okay.
Okay, so the volume is 2 times 2 times 2.
Okay.
Right, is 8.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. But the surface area is, so it's 2 by 2 is 4 square centimeters one side, times 6 is 24. So now the ratio is not 1 to 6, but 8 to 24 is 1 to 3.
So
the surface area has become smaller relative to the volume.
And we're just standing out.
By just growing bigger. And now imagine,
but just a little bit.
And that's just like a little bit. But now imagine going to.
So the ratio would change. The mass would be larger than the surface.
Yes.
So basically, the larger you are, the more heat you have inside, and the less places you have the heat to come out of.
Exactly.
Okay, so what it means is in our world and in this world that evolutionary-wise, the animals that were larger could retain more heat, could do more stuff, could be more successful.
Right.
Huh. Yeah. So do you think he knew that when he created all these big northern animals? We don't see giant animals in other places.
I guess he kind of knew that, but in that world there's also things that don't really make sense, obviously.
You said about the spiders.
So for example, the spiders. Spiders are not warm-blooded.
They don't need to retain heat.
They don't need to retain heat. So they're not under that kind of constraints, like, oh, we have to grow bigger in the Arctic.
And actually in the jungle, in the tropics, they're bigger now.
Right.
Okay.
So that
boom, plot hole, giant spiders.
So this principle of growing larger at higher latitudes, so further away from the equator in colder climates, actually has a name. It's called Bergman's rule. So
after who?
After Bergman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have known that.
Yeah.
Should have guessed it.
So Arctic animals are generally large.
And humans? Are humans generally larger when you go up north?
Aren't they though? They kind of
So
are.
we are here in Holland. Boom.
And we're already gigantic.
So you are the tallest people on the planet.
Yeah.
Average 184. Okay, so the Greeks would be smaller.
The Greeks would be smaller. The Greeks are smaller.
Yeah. That's racist.
Yeah, sorry. But as a general rule, it kind of holds up also in human populations.
Right, just because like we can travel more, so we can like with planes and stuff, whatever.
Well, there's other dynamics as well. Of course, food and maybe other constraints like the people in East Africa, they are very tall but also quite lanky, I guess.
They're not like burly or
no. So there's something there also actually with losing heat. So obviously it's not just one thing that shapes it, but it's one of the rules that we see actually in a lot of warm-blooded animals and probably also in humans.
I would like to talk about, but I feel that it's just all going to be very racist.
Yes,
it's all going to be very racist. So do you have any other scientific theory that is not racist, that refers to the north and to these northern fellows coming on down with the winter? Illegal immigration. That's the caravan that crossed the wall. Yeah. Because it was a see-through wall. It just like walked through it. The caravan, everybody told us the caravan was coming. Okay, so let's use all this science and try to get a bold prediction about what could happen by the end of the story.
What is about to happen is sort of like an ice age coming, and with these Arctic animals expanding their ranges temporarily, just like, for example, happens during our ice ages, but when winter ends, if winter ends, then of course these animals which are adapted to the cold climate and have their own strategies for coping with that, they again will be outcompeted by the ones that are more adapted to the coming spring, and they will move back north.
Right,
or go extinct.
Because they will need to lose heat when it's very hot.
Right.
So they will either go back. Okay.
They might go back, they might die out.
So even if there will be giants and all kinds of big animals before the end of the story, once winter goes away,
they go away.
They go away. Okay, so let's wrap it up. Rutger, it's been a blast, as always. Thank you, patrons, for supporting the channel. You can go to patreon.com/GodAcademy. And your support is very much appreciated to the sustainability of this channel, not just for this season. Also, after the season, the prequel and all kinds of stuff, movies, shows, whatever. Hope to see you there. Patreon.com/GodAcademy. Bye, everybody!
In the north end of town, my own children are grown, but I was raised up on the other